We are joined by Manchester-By-The-Sea Police Chief Todd Fitzgerald. How you doing, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. Thanks for spending some time with us. Right off the bat, we wanted to ask you about the vaccination process. Of course, we're all living amongst COVID-19 right now. Have you been vaccinated, and what was that process like?
Yeah, I think the process has been good. I've been vaccinated, had my first dose a couple weeks ago. We're scheduled to go back around the week of February 7th for our second dose. I had no side effects, maybe a little bit of a sore arm. I know some other officers that had some adverse reactions to it that have had COVID. They spiked a fever, things like that, but nothing serious. Those side effects only lasted, a few hours. So, but I just want to give a shout out to the city of Gloucester and their health department. That the entire process was very streamlined and very efficient and well run, and I was happy for that.
So your department did this through with Gloucester's help?
Gloucester Health Department. So we teamed up, the Manchester, Ipswich, Essex, and Rockport all teamed up through the Gloucester Health Department.
So do you want to talk about just the obvious, how it feels to be doing your job with the vaccine, having been vaccinated?
Well, I think we all need to do our part. And, I've done a little bit of research. I've listened to Dr. Fauci on a Zoom call through the International Chiefs of Police Association. And he kind of put my some reservations I had about the vaccine, to rest on how it was, rolled out and how the process was done. And, it was all the trials were done at the same time, all three phases of it. And, it seems to be working out good. And I hope they can keep up with the numbers of doses that come out of Moderna and come out of Pfizer to just keep up with the general population. But overall, I like a positive experience, and I'm glad to be doing our part to control this pandemic.
So, Chief, you mentioned that you had people on the force who actually had COVID. Do you want to talk about this past year, and what it felt like to be managing this really difficult time?
Well, when you take over as chief, you never thought you'd have a global pandemic. And, I took over in November of 2019. And then, as soon as the year changed, we started hearing about COVID-19 and there were a lot of concerns about it. And, managing it was at the beginning, it was, changing on a daily basis. So you'd make a decision, and then 2 hours later, you'd have to probably reverse it and change something and go in a different direction. But overall, here at the department, in the beginning stages of the pandemic, we were able to make some significant staffing changes with shift rotations and things like that. And I think we were able to get to stay pretty much healthy. As the summer rolled along and we went into fall and started to get into the holidays after the Thanksgiving spike, we came down with 4 officers that got tested positive for COVID, and that really in turn took out 8 other officers that were exposed, that had to stay home and quarantine. So that being 14 full-time staff members here, it actually put me on the midnight shift out on patrol. So we all had to step up and do our part, and I'm very proud of our guys here that they're willing to do whatever it takes.
Wow. So I was going to ask, Chief, how is morale within the department now that we're pushing a year of your operating this way?
We have a young department, and everyone's willing to step up and do what they have to do to manage it and get through it. And it's very fortunate that we in the beginning didn't come down with more of a an illness and have to rely on mutual aid. But our partners on Cape Ann, I got a good relationship with Chief Conley, Chief Horvath, and especially Chief Francis in Essex. Whatever we need, we're able to rely on our neighbors.
So do you have any messages for the community you'd like to relate right now?
With all the police reform that's going on, I just want to remind people that we're an accredited agency. We're one of 94 agencies in the Commonwealth out of 357, I think. And administratively, with the changes that need to be made, and with the police reform bill that the governor signed back in December, we're ahead of the curve. And just people, not to worry, that we're monitoring it, and we'll do what needs to be done to make sure that we're on the right track.
Mm. And lastly, Chief, are you involved with the town at all as far as when the vaccine is distributed? Are you patrolling when that is going on, or overseeing anything?
Well, we haven't got to that stage yet. I was on a Zoom call earlier with the department heads here in town, and I think the town is going to look into basically opening a vaccine site, but I think our numbers are so small that we may have to partner with a larger agency or a larger community. But that's something that the Board of Health is working on and is discussing. We have plans in place, because I'm part of emergency management. We have plans in place for that, so we're ready to roll that out if we have to. But it's really going to be up to the Board of Health to make that final decision.
Did you have a sense of any sort of timing when the messaging may come through about these things?
I think it's going to be rolling out daily. I see the next phase will be starting in the first part of February. So, from what we hear, that next phase is going to be a slow bullet by bullet rollout. So, not sure, and I think a lot has to do with the doses or the vaccine that are going to be available from the manufacturers.
Great stuff. Well, Manchester-by-the-Sea Police Chief Todd Fitzgerald, thank you for your first appearance on Cape Ann today. We would love to make this a semi-regular thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Have me anytime. I'm always around. And just one other thing, I just want to make sure people know that every first Thursday of every month from 4 to 6 p.m., I have open office hours. It's posted on our website and on our Facebook pages. So it just makes me more available to the public to come in, and you want to talk, just have a coffee, that's fine. So please, look for that. We'll be starting again back in March.
Do people need to make an appointment on Facebook?
Nope, just show up. Just walk in. Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for your time, Chief. Stay safe.
All right, sounds good. Same to you.